Hi guys, Gareth here and welcome to this Plunket 88 production. Now before we go any further, I would like to say this video is going to be quite long, windy, rambly because I've tried to record this video 10 times over the last 3 days and it hasn't gone very well. So hopefully this will be the take that I actually choose to upload. Fingers crossed. The other thing I'd like to say is thank you very much to anybody who left a comment on my previous videos over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Since I haven't uploaded, you've not only given me advice, you've given me ideas, you've also encouraged me to carry on, should I say. Because I've gotten very close over the last 2 or 3 weeks, just hanging up my YouTube boots and walking away from YouTube. There are a number of things that are going on with YouTube that disgust me to no end. Just the overall politically correcting nature of YouTube, the ability for other outlets outside of YouTube to take down people's entire channels because of something they choose to do in a computer game. If you wonder what I'm talking about, basically an individual in Red Dead Redemption 2 uploaded a video where he punched a suffragette. So if you want to know what suffragettes are, please by all means look that up. And then proceeded a series of videos where he did some funny interactions with this individual. Well, not only was the video taken down, the whole channel was taken down. And there's a few other things that have happened in YouTube recently in terms of some of the bigger YouTubes, some of the behind the scenes stuff sort of comes to the forefront and you realise who they truly are, so to speak, or the kind of shady shit that goes on behind the scenes at YouTube. Just some of it really just makes me want to walk away from YouTube. But having said that, at the end of the day, I don't have to interact with the overall YouTube. I can just talk to you guys and we can go from there. So thank you guys for those comments. So there are videos coming down the road, much happier, lovely videos, but I can't carry on with those videos without talking about some stuff that's happened over the last couple of weeks. So Red Dead Redemption 2. So Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably the game that has been on my my anticipation map. I've been looking forward to that game since it was revealed. So up until the release of the game, a lot of the marketing around the game was very understated. And to an extent, I liked the understated nature of the marketing and the run-up to Red Dead Redemption 2, because some of the hype and the zeitgeist for some games this year have been way too high for my liking. I bounced off of God of War 2018 quite hard because the zeitgeist and the hype around the game was just like up here, and then my actual, my enjoyment of the game came about here, and I was wondering why it wasn't at the same, the same level as the marketing was trying to make it sound. You've then got Octopath Traveler, which there are many things about the marketing and other people when it comes to that game that just really put me off buying it. I've now bought it. I haven't played it yet, but I've bought it, sat on my Switch digitally waiting for me to play when I get round to it. But it's just some games this year have really rubbed me up the wrong way when it comes to their marketing and just companies' incessant nature to make things as hyped as possible. It's got to be hyped. It's got to be the biggest thing since sliced bread. No, guys, not everything has to be the biggest thing since sliced bread. Trust me on that one. Anyway, so I played Red Dead Redemption 2 and then bounced so hard off of it, I could have been in Australia by now. I really bounced hard off of Red Dead Redemption 2. Not only did I bounce hard off of Red Dead Redemption 2, there's some other things that happened. I started losing enjoyment with everything I was doing. I had some movies I was going to watch planned out. I had some things I was going to do planned out, and I just couldn't get enjoyment out of any of it. Now, I should say at this point, some things have happened personally in my life. I've changed roles at work, changed my schedule slightly. I'm not going to go into too much detail. That's why I have short hair currently, because I'm now much more customer facing than I was before. But 2 seconds, guys. And I think that did kind of feed into some of this mental gymnastics I was going through. But I started losing real enjoyment of things. And I am part of a few groups on Facebook Messenger to be exact. And I got kicked out of one of those groups because of my behaviour in that group. Now, this isn't the first time I've behaved like this, but this is the straw that broke the camel's back, as they say. So, when I bounced hard off of Red Dead Redemption 2, any time I saw people enjoying themselves, I just wanted to shit on their parade. Because why should other people getting enjoyment when I'm not getting enjoyment out of everything? That's how I felt. And I just kept digging myself a hole over and over and over again. When I dig myself a hole and I do things that I know I shouldn't do, I just keep digging. I double down on it. I find it really hard to get myself out of it. Anyway, so there were particular people in this group posting pictures of, strategy guides they've gotten, or games they've gotten, or things they've done that have made them happy. And there's me coming along and basically putting a nice big rain cloud over their enjoyment and just pouring rain over it, or shitting on it from a high point. And people kept telling me, saying, "Come on, dude, what's up? You need to stop being so toxic," type thing. And as I said previously, when I get in a certain way, I just double down on it. I have to cause someone, I suppose, emotional grief, hurt, whatever the expression is. Then something happened a week later, after all that went on. Stanley died. Stanley passed away. In fact, he's passed away a week today, I do believe. Or a week yesterday, I should say. And a few people were admittedly upset about the passing of Stanley. One person in particular did say they were considering not going to work, which for me is a bit bizarre, because if it's not a direct relative, why would you not go into work because Stanley has died? Anyway, I was very matter of fact about the situation. He was 95, he probably, with all due respect, he had a very good innings, so to speak, in cricket speak, and he's probably due to die at some point. Not that there should be a due date in people's death, but 95 is definitely up there, let's be honest. And I shared some of my thoughts and opinions, and people had a go at me. They sort of said, "Look, this is a sad time for us, can you just give us some room," more or less. Again, me being one, because someone has called me out, I feel the need just to shit upon them, just to put them in their place. And that's exactly what I did. I basically said, I think you guys are overreacting. I didn't say it in this polite of a way. In fact, I was quite rude about it. I just simply said, if you guys want to go and cry into a pillow over Stanley, you go and do that. Whatever, I don't really give a shit. I'm going to back out and off I go. I then woke up to a few messages from the owner of this group saying that I'd been kicked out of it due to several reasons. I'm not going to go into the exact, explicit messages I received, but I was no longer in that group, and I pay to be in that group. I'm not going to go into much details, but I paid to be in that group. So it was a bit of a sore point. Still is a bit of a sore point, if I'm being honest. But I have only myself to blame. It's my actions that sort of caused the issue. But at the same token, I don't know. I do feel sometimes that chat is a bit too much of a safe space for people. But at the same token, whatever. I then went on a even more self-destructive path until I was basically put on the straight and narrow by a good friend of mine. At some point, and I don't remember the exact tipping point or the exact, instant that caused me to do this, but I Googled what I was going through. And let's just say I had depressive tendencies. Now, I'm not saying I had depression. I just think I was going through a bad period, to be honest with you. I had changes at work. A new game was coming out that I was excited about. I didn't enjoy the game as much. There were a few things shifting in my life that I just think they may have had changes happen with me that I didn't realise were happening, and other people did and I didn't. One thing I would say at this point is one thing I'm trying to get better at, but I'm not one for admitting that I'm human. I don't like admitting I'm human, if I'm being honest. I don't like admitting that I'm flawed. Humans are flawed, don't get me wrong, but I don't like admitting it, because I don't understand why people don't strive to be best they can be, or what have you, or why would you admit to being excuse me, why would you admit the fact that, I'll be honest, the fact that people admitted to crying over the fact Stanley had died, I think that's a weakness. I think that's a weakness that can be exploited, and that why would you admit that in a public forum? Why would you admit that on a site, on a group, messaging group that's public? Why would you admit that? Why? That's my mentality. Why would you wear your heart on your sleeve and basically make it very obvious that you are emotionally charged and you are very easily manipulated or very easily trodden down, or any of those things? Now, this is a mindset, as I said, I'm trying to get out of. It's going to take some time, and it's going to take some patience from other people, but it's a mental state I've been in for quite some time. To give you an example, my dad was actually watching a little while ago, many months ago actually, he was watching a playthrough Super Metroid, one of his favourite games. And he was enjoying this playthrough because the person was making mistakes. And I, for the love of me at the time, could not understand, why would you watch somebody and enjoy the fact they're making mistakes? I watch gameplay of things. I like watching speedruns of Super Metroid, but I watch those because I like watching the skill on display. And if I see a speedrunner noticeably fuck up in a big way, I actually tune out. Now, I do have 2 or 3 specific favourites that I will probably watch no matter what. But if I watch a person who's supposedly a really good speedrunner of this game and I watch them bugger up in royal fashion, that's it, I'm out. I'll move on to the next video when they don't potentially fuck up. It's just one of those things that I am gradually, I suppose, getting out of that mindset. And so, for me to admit that I had some depressive tendencies is actually quite a hard thing to do. For me to admit that I had some problems, some things were happening in my life that I don't know if I wasn't embracing them, but I wasn't accepting the fact that they're going to have changes on me as a person, mentally, physically, emotionally, all those different things. I just almost wasn't willing to admit they had those effects on me, because I wasn't willing to admit that I'm human, essentially. I think you guess where this is going. And of course, this had a knock-on effect with YouTube in a very big way. I did record a couple of videos during this time that I have since deleted, but I've gone back and watched them a couple of times, and yeah, I can tell looking back at this point that I was not in a good mind space back then. Then something else happened last week that I don't think I've ever done a 180 as quick as this when it comes to I'm just going to have to explain what went on. So during this time, I was a dick. I was a complete and utter prick to many people. And I thought I'd actually burnt many bridges. I thought I'd pissed people off. The group that I am still in, that I actually created, so I can't be kicked out of. But anyway, in that group, I I would speak on occasions and no one would reply, and I legitimately thought people would tread on eggshells around me. Turns out that people actually have other lives to attend to. Surprise, surprise. Anyway, and they were just busy with other things and what have you. But as I said, something happened last week that made me realise something. Friday of last week, I'm currently recording this on Wednesday the 21st of November 2018. Friday of last week, it was my birthday. My 30th birthday, in fact. Now, a day before that, I got a knock on the door from the postman. I thought it was going to be someone completely different. Turned out to be the postman. Opened the door and was presented with an Amazon box. I was a little confused at this point, because I hadn't ordered anything from Amazon. There are some things that I have ordered from Amazon over the last little while, but this was not one of those things. So I opened up the box to find a couple of gift-wrapped presents inside. Now, I'm not going to say what they are in this video, because there is going to be a video, as I said, on my birthday haul. But let's just say I was not expecting that in any way, shape or form. They are media-related items. One's a DVD set and one's a Blu-ray steelbook, actually. I'll give you... I did say Blu-ray steelbook, to give you that at least. But I was not expecting it in any way, shape or form. And this last weekend, I'll be honest, has been one of the best weekends I've had in a long, long time. I was spoilt by my mum and sister, and by friends, by my dad, by everybody that I, care about. Made this weekend, one of the best weekends they could be, because it was my 30th birthday, which I suppose in some ways is a special birthday, because it's the start of a new decade of your life, I suppose. And I had a strong epiphany on Thursday, Friday last week, that no matter how bit of a dick you are, no matter how much of a prick you are, there's always friends that will support you no matter what. And I don't think I've realised this quite to this extent, but the power of friendship is something very powerful indeed. And then something else was pointed out to me. When I was kicked out of this group and received those messages from this individual, I don't know if I said this earlier, but I paid to be in that group. I am a Patreon of this person. And I get certain benefits of being a Patreon of this person. And one of those benefits is a monthly Skype call that I am welcome to join. Little did I know that this individual was actually saying that I'm welcome to join those Patreon calls, Skype calls, whether I'm still a Patreon or not. Long story short, they were basically saying, because I consider you a friend, you're welcome to join the Skype calls. I will still wish to speak to you. It's just that I don't want you in the main chats because you're being a bit of a dick, and some other people have come to me and you need to kind of stop that shit. So sorry, but you're not in that chat. But by all means, feel free to PM me. Feel free to be in the Skype calls. Feel free to leave comments on Patreon. Feel free to do any of the other things. I hope to still see you around. And although I am surrounded by friends, I have now realised, and people that care about me, it was that one thing, somebody actually to some extent look up to, a YouTuber who has hundreds of thousands of subscribers, considering me a friend, considering me somebody they wish to talk to, they wish to interact with, despite how toxic I've been over the last little while, they still wanted to speak to me and keep me around and me to interact with people because they consider me a friend. And it thawed my, what can be at sometimes stone cold heart. And I just wanted to sort of say all of that before I start doing videos down the road, because I was in as I said, a pretty, I wouldn't say it wasn't dark in any way, shape or form, but a pretty sour mindset for a while. Now, as I said, I'm now out of that mindset, and I am now, you know, ready to do some videos. Oh, one thing I am going to say at the end of this video, which not many people are going to catch. At some point I may just do a simple 2-minute video explain this separately, but I am going to scale down my production on my videos. I'm just going to simply start using my phone to record videos and upload them that way. That way I can start cranking out videos and just get them up on YouTube, and you know, people can watch them. So that's the plan, and as I said, I'll probably break that out to its own separate video at some point. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. If your feeling's a bit different, then by all means click the other button. It works quite well, than that thumbs down button. If you could for me guys, leave a like or a dislike on this video depending on your feelings. If your feelings are more complicated, then please leave a comment down below in the comment section. As I do like to say, YouTube is a social media platform. Let's make it social. Let's take it back from the trolls. And if you could for me guys, hit that subscribe button. It's big, it's red, it's free. Do it! If you wish to stay up to date with what I do, then please hit the bell icon. Make sure the quotations are around it, and you'll receive a notification to your device of choice every time I upload a video. And as always guys, you have been a very supportive and patient audience, and until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. Ta-ra, take care guys. Bye bye.